FIBA presents the U17 Women's Basketball World Cup from Brno, Czechia. It is Japan taking on Colombia in day one of action. Hi, everybody. This is Aaron Sanders. Glad to be back with you on the FIBA YouTube channel. A big hola and konnichiwa for those of you tuning in for your respective nations, and a big welcome to many of you that are tuning in around the world. Let us know where you're tuning in from, so we'll give you a shout out throughout the broadcast. And we've already seen in day one fireworks and history being made. You talk about a game being a steal. Australia topping Latvia by 11, thanks to Alechnowicz and Smith setting an Australian record for most steals in a game, 7 steals apiece. And we saw earlier today USA setting one of their best performances in U17 history with a total of 32 steals and defeating the Ivory Coast 117-24. This will be the first game in Group C play in the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup this year. And it features 2 stellar teams that are looking to make a statement early on. And exactly for Colombia, as they're about to embark on their second ever trip in the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. The last time we've seen them in this stage was back in 2018, where they placed 14th, and they were able to qualify for this installment of the U17s by making it to the bronze medal game in the U16 America Cup last year, despite losing to Mexico in the bronze medal game. But with their placement ending up in 4th place, they qualified this year, even though it was their 3rd appearance in team history in the U16 America play, and they took them to the limit in the 2nd ever bronze medal game in Colombia's history. They're going to be led by a couple of players, one player to pay attention to in particular, Alison Restrepo, who picked up 8 points per game along with 3 boards in the U16 America. Japan, they're no stranger to this competition now. They have played in every U17 World Cup that you could think of. That's right, all 8 of them. And last time we saw them was back in 2024, where they placed 6th, their highest finish in U17 play. You have to go all the way back to the 2nd ever U17 World Cup, where they lost in the bronze medal game. So they placed 4th. They have a handful of superstars to pay attention to, especially Mia Takeuchi, number 15. You'll see her later on. She ended up becoming the MVP of the U16 Asia Cup last year, as well as being part of the All-Star 5 team. And it's hard to debate that, considering she averaged close to 20 points per game, which was best in the tournament, when she had 3 games where she scored 20 or more points, and she was the sharer of the ball, averaging 6.6 dimes a game. Japan qualified by winning bronze in last year's U16 Asia Cup. They were upsetted by New Zealand in the semifinals, but they defeated China in the bronze medal game, and we will see China take on Mexico after this game. They had a 3-0 record in Group B play, and they defeated Syria by the margin of, get this, 132-31. And they won their group games by an average margin of 42 points. So for Yoshikazu Suzuki's team, they're expecting to get close to the podium, as close as they can this year. Let's step aside for the national anthems, and we'll be back for the tip-off in just a moment. We are less than 5 minutes away from the opening tip-off between Colombia and Japan in day one of the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. And checking the game predictor section on the website, a handful of you, nearly all of you, selected Japan to prevail in this Group C contest. Speaking of the game predictor app, well, you could guess the winner of every game in this tournament and predict the margin of victory to earn points, climb the leaderboard, and get a shot at winning an official FIBA U17 World Cup game ball and Nike gift cards. But remember, in order to qualify for that, you have to get your votes in 5 minutes before tip-off. So that deadline just passed 1 minute ago. And there are a handful of you that have taken part of the FIBA YouTube membership program, and we have 3 tiers for you: rookie, starter, and MVP. So you could be a part of that too. You can unlock exclusive content. And how about getting early access to highlights? That would be good. How about acquiring loyalty badges and emojis during our live streams, including this one, and get more exciting perks? What are they, you may ask? Well, you may have to figure that out by your own. So be a part of our growing community today as we have a look at their officials. From Croatia, Martin Bulic. From Jordan, we have Mohamed Fazitawa. And from Canada, who just pulled off a victory against Italy a few moments ago, Brooke Briscoe. By the way, for Team Canada, OSBA player and Crestwood Prep player Avia Rije stepped up and dominated in their victory over Italy. There's your starting 5 for Colombia. Alison Restrepo getting the start with Karen Bertel. Maria Superlano with Desaline Zunigo Ferrado. And Mariana Paz gets the start for Ricardo Pinzon's squad. Tomorrow, Colombia will take on Czechia, the host team, and on Tuesday, they'll have Slovenia to deal with to wrap up group play. Japan, in their 8th straight trip in the U17s, will start with Ron Kobayashi, along with Kako Otsuki, Maya Takeuchi, Kino Nakazawa, and they wrap it up with Kosei Hozozawa. Colombia 25th in the FIBA World Rankings, Japan 9th. We are moments away from tip-off. Stick around. We'll have the tip-off very soon. By the way, a big hello to one of the natives of Canada from Kingsville, which is about an hour away from Windsor if you're talking about how close it is from the United States. A big hello to Coco and Ollie. Coco, again, still nursing her injured foot. I gave you a report on that on the men's U17 World Cup, and I got an update from her, and she said she is coming along very well. Slowly but surely, she's doing all right. So a big hello to Ollie. Ollie's not alone when Coco is around. There's no doubt about it. And a handful of you have taken part of the FIBA YouTube membership. A lot of rookies and MVPs joining. Acaress82 upgraded their membership to MVP. Well done. Andrea Zidoric, now an MVP. George is an MVP. Florence Brock, MVP. And then we have a couple of starters and rookies too. So hope you're able to enjoy the game and hope you're able to enjoy the exclusive perks here on the FIBA YouTube channel. Colombia wearing their blue jerseys with gold trim, numerals, and letters. Japan wearing their whites with red trim and black numerals. Canada defeating Italy today. Australia on a tear to kick things off in the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. Olichnowicz and Smith with 7 steals each. USA, an all-time record of 32 steals as a unit. The tip is controlled by Colombia, and here we go. Colombia going to the left of your screen, Japan right, and they feed it immediately down low to Celine Zuniga Hurtado to get it all underway. Zuniga Hurtado, one of the centers for Colombia, as they spared no time at all. Quick fake out from Otsuki. Jose Hosozawa splitting to the lane, gets by Paz, and that doesn't work out for her. Ariana Paz has that ball taken. And here's Takeuchi, the MVP of the Asia Cup years ago. Sends it out to Hosozawa for three, way off. Colombia lost the bronze medal game to Mexico in the U16 AmeriCup, but still, fourth place was good enough for them to qualify for their second ever U17 World Cup. Ball nearly stripped by Takeuchi. Play rolls on with 5 on the shot clock, and 2 free throws are on the way for Karen Bertel. Again, we're glad you're joining us wherever you may be. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We'll give you a shout out throughout the broadcast. Karen Bertel, she was one of 8 players from the U16 AmeriCup unit that represented Colombia. Picked up 7 points and 2.5 rebounds per game. Colombia, third appearance in the U16 AmeriCup a year ago. Second trip to the bronze medal game. Came up short to Mexico, for which you will see after this one, as Mexico will take on China. And Bertel goes 1 for 2 at the line. Rebound picked up by Nakazawa. Nakazawa surveying the floor. The power forward plays it to Kobayashi. 7 points per game in the Asia Cup last year. 8th in rebounds at 6.8. She glides in and scores. That's Kako Otsuki, the point guard, getting her first field goal in. Japan the early lead. Sobolano met by the double team, and they say hold the phone here. It might have looked like a kickball on the part of Japan because Colombia is getting it back. Sobolano plays it, and she gets it back from Paz. They swing it to the corner. Bertel loses control, and Kobayashi playing some smothering, suffering defense to force the turnover. We're at the 8-minute mark in the opening quarter. Here's Kobayashi. She's looking to put the shot up down low, and she kicks it to Otsuki. Otsuki tries it from downtown, off the side. Back comes Bertel. Sobolano looks along. And was trying to feed it down low, and that's back-to-back turnovers for Colombia. This is the opening day of the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. Here's a three-corner pocket, Shazam! Kako Otsuki getting some touches early on, and Japan well ahead. Otsuki stepping up, not only offensively but defensively. There's a two-way prowess on the floor. Zuniga Hurtado, way outside of her range as he skips it to Restrepo, who misses from downtown, and Kobayashi gets the rebound and draws the foul. History was made in the first day of this tournament, from steals to group steals. Will we see more history in this game? Takeuchi, she has yet to score. The MVP, the Asia Cup a year ago, part of the All-Star 5 team. The teardrop doesn't go for Kobayashi. She gets her own rebound, follows through, and misses. Back to Superlano. And 2 passes later, Zuniga Hurtado gets the rock again. And so does Superlano, who tries for 3. Off the heel. And it's picked up by Kosei Hosozawa. 11 points per game for Hosozawa. Upstairs, Nakazawa, no dice. Kobayashi fighting for the ball. Gets contact out of it. A bit of a disposition for Bertel. Kobayashi got the rebound, yes, but it's just a matter of leaning in and fighting for the ball of the second chance. And luckily she didn't have her back turn, or else Kobayashi would have had an easy 2. And Bertel wouldn't have time to recover. The foul is on Bertel, her first. Colombia now has 2 team fouls. Here's the triple, got it. Takeuchi now on the scoreboard. And Colombia calls for time with 6:16 to go. Japan with an early lead over Colombia in the first day of the U17 Women's Basketball World Cup right here on the FIBA YouTube channel. Japan with an 8-3 lead as we return to live action. Colombia behind by 5. Ariana Paz remains in the game. There are a flurry of changes between both teams before the timeout. Meanwhile, Superlano has the ball, having trouble on the right side of the elbow. She has 6 to shoot. She fires away, and it doesn't hit iron, with the ball going back to Japan. We played more than 4 minutes in the first quarter. Japan ahead. And thanks to a Miya Takeuchi 3, they were able to expand their lead. Nice screen from Shimizu, who was in the lineup the first time. She goes for the layup, almost had it. But she'll learn it the old-fashioned way at the line. Ray Ando, who checked in, getting the dish down to Shimizu. There are 9 players that played for Japan in last year's U16 Asia Cup, and Shimizu's one of them as she drops one of them. Shimizu, not a lot of action for her as she averaged close to 4 points per game, but it has to be a huge honor for her to represent Japan on the big stage. The rebound pulled down, and now it's Takeuchi slowing things. Screen from Shimizu. Takeuchi can't get closer. Step away 3. Off the side of the glass. Shot clock continues to roll on. Good awareness from Gondo to put it up. If the ball doesn't hit the rim, the shot clock does not reset to 14. Zuniga Hurtado drives in and misses. She fights for the rebound, gets it back. Same result. Third chance. She'll have to go to the line for it. Great hustle from Colombia, and Diceline Zuniga Hurtado, one of the 3 centers in this Colombia roster. $3,600 and more of you are watching wherever you may be. Hope you let us know where you're joining us from, because This is a tournament scene around the world, and we love to represent, and we also love to represent every country that you join us from. As the first free throws off the mark for Celine Zuniga Hurtado. Second ever appearance for Colombia in this tournament. They have not seen the worldwide stage since 2018. Second free throw off the mark as well. And Colombia's double team leads into another foul. They are out of fouls to give. Japan 9, Colombia 3. Here's a drive from Takeuchi, who glides in and scores in style. She had the ice cream scoop, had the sprinkles too, because she was able to do that gracefully. Finger roll makes it an 8-point game. We played more than halfway in the first quarter. Hurtado tries again, and this time she scores. Japan sitting comfortably, not only a 6-point lead, but 2 fouls to give. Takeuchi's shot is short as she gets her own rebound. Slow it down a little bit. They see that Colombia is in a 1-2-2. Takeuchi fires away, short. And Mariangel Serna picks up the rebound. Serna checked in not so long ago as she sends it down to Zuniga Hurtado. Pass in trouble as she passes it to Escorcia. Escorcia will get 2 shots coming up. She took on the double team of Shimizu and Momaka Kaji. Two-score game. Quick recap of what's happened here today. Australia prevailing against Latvia today. 2 players with 7 steals each, which is a new nation record. Colombia hitting the first free throw. Elba Escorcia, the small forward, lining up for a second. USA dominating the Ivory Coast by 93 while picking up a U17 record, 32 steals in total. And Canada, thanks to Avery Arije, the Crestwood Prep player from the OSBA, ended up being player of the game as Canada defeated Italy half an hour ago. Lead is now 4 for Japan. Under 4 minutes to go, first quarter. Japan, the only one with a foul to give. Serna getting the screen from Zuniga Hurtado, but she cuts right instead of left. They waste a lot of time, and it's snatched by Gondo. Gondo has numbers if she needs it. She sends it down to Ishiwata. Yes, and it counts. It's just that give-and-go play, a textbook play, which can beat you every time, especially on the fast break. They forced the loose ball, and Gondo knew she had Iwa Ishiwata, who turned 16 on the 28th. She's getting worldwide presence and exposure after a stellar performance at the U16 Asia Cup. And it looks like they will count the basket. Yes, they did. They did count the basket. And here's the teardrop, and it banks in for Zuniga Hurtado. We're in Brno, Czechia. Day 1 of the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. A week ago, we saw Team USA prevail in the men's portion of the U17s, defeating Serbia in their closest game in that year's tournament. Here's the pull-up from Ito. Splish, splash, catch right at the line. Here's the chest pass to Maria Mendez. Serna back to Zunica Hurtado, who has the hot hand, and she shares the wealth, but it's off the mark for Pedrosa. She'll try again, and she goes off the glass and in. Zunica Hurtado keeping it close for Colombia. She's been the only one to respond underneath the rack. Ito was looking for a pass down low, and it was intercepted. Japan leading 16-11 with a couple of minutes to go. Look at Serna rushing the floor. She is immediately taken on by Ito. The rock, the finish, the bucket for Escorzia as she says, "Excuse me while I drive to the lane." They're not going to count that, as Escorzia was called for traveling. But the way she faded away due to contact and still able to finish, that was pretty good. Unfortunately, it doesn't count for two. Ihiwata down low as she plays it out to the corner. Rebound pulled down by Zunica Hurtado. And she is stepping up in a huge way for Colombia. They have to hurry up, and they do. Serna doesn't get a good screen, but it's out to Mendez. Mendez with one to shoot. She fires away, and the air ball is contained by Hosozawa. Here is Yasue on the move as she takes on Zunica Hurtado. Handful of you are joining the MVP tier in the FIBA YouTube membership, and thank you again for doing that. Your exclusive content and perks are coming up. Yasue's first free throw is a no-go. She too is a 15-year-old along with Aya Ishiwata. Put up close to 11 points in the U16 Asia Cup, in which Japan won bronze in order to qualify for this year's U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. Second free throw is good for Yasue. Foul immediately, this time coming to Yasue. With that foul, it means both teams are over the limit for the final 53 seconds in the first. Here's the drive by Serna. She's immediately stopped. Here's a rainbow, and it's picked up by Yasue, who rushes up the floor with no problems at all. Kaji fakes. Yasue gets by Mendez, swings it out, and it's no good for Kaji. Rebound nearly saved. However, Chihiro Ito stepped on the line with 27.4 to go. Three-second difference in the shot and game clock. Pull-up tray, Pedrosa, yes! She makes it look so easy in the toughest place to get a shot down. Yasue with 3 to go. Yasue looks at the clock, fires away, almost had it. A clean look for Honoka Yasue, but it did not work for her. So at the end of one, it's Japan that leads on the opening day in the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. We'll take a break, and we'll come back in 2 minutes for quarter number 2. 17-14 at the end of one.
goodness, get out of here.
That corner pocket and Bruno.
And then you've got this woman here, Asia.
And what a finish.
Didn't overplay as well. Two players without playing one-on-one.
Because she's excited with passion. Good rebound, 6 assists.
Roberts, you gotta love it.
Buckets at the buzzer.
And these fans here, Kobe, they love it. They absolutely love seeing.
Every team in the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup will get 7 games in this tournament, whether if they go for gold or they end up in classification stay. But this is the first day of competition with Colombia and Japan doing battle. Japan leads by 3 in the second quarter as we're set to begin that. I'm Aaron Sanders. Glad that you're joining us wherever you may be. Earlier today, Australia, USA, New Zealand, and Canada ended up being the victors in their opening game of group play. Czechia and Slovenia will play in a few minutes' time. Greg Fata will have the call for that. The last 2 games on the schedule, Mexico and China, which will come immediately after this game, all have the call for that game. And Germany and Spain will tip off to wrap things up in less than 3 hours. Second quarter begins with Japan ball. Yasui looking around, and she is heavily guarded by Serna. Clock goes down to 7. Pull up tray, short. In the first quarter of play, Japan shot 32%. And Colombia, thanks to Diceline Zuniga Hurtado, they're shooting close to 40%. They have relied on her for most of the first quarter, and she has responded. Foul on the floor. This time it's going to Japan. Leading scorer after 1. Otsuki and Takeuchi with 5 points for Japan. Colombia led by Zuniga Hurtado, who has 8 of their 14. Cross-court pass underneath to Zuniga Hurtado, who misses it right off the catch. It's only a 1-bucket difference between these 2 teams. And it could be 5 on these free throws coming up for Kosei Hosozawa. The foul line in the first 10 minutes of play, Japan went 60%, 3 out of 5. A rebounding situation, 13-12, only a narrow difference for Japan. Hosozawa misses a first free throw. Colombia's picked up 9 defensive rebounds compared to Japan's 8. And a lane violation will give Japan 1 more free throw. For Hosozawa, and it's good. Kako Otsuki earlier checked in for Yasui. Yasui picking up 2 personal fouls early in this one. Screen from Paz. Restrepo back into the lineup. They go for a risky pass, with Escorzia having trouble holding on to it. Restrepo for 3. Hits the net, but not down it. 24-second violation gives Japan the ball back. between these two teams, only 3 three-pointers have been made out of a possible 15. Down low, teardrop off the mark for Oski. While picking up the foul. Mariana Paz can't believe it. That means Japan, he'll shoot 2 more shots. This time it's Kako Otsuki doing the honors on her first trip, and it's good. Nearly all of you predicted Japan would win this game today, thanks to the Game Predictor app, which you could qualify for as long as you get your vote in 5 minutes before the opening tip. Both free throws, down it goes to make it 20-14. Played 90 seconds into the second quarter. Japan has led since the goal. Overhead pass straight away to Escorzia. Spins in, dives in, and can't get it in. More free throws coming up, this time for Colombia. They're shooting 50% at the line, 3 of 6. Escorzia hitting all of her 2 points right at the line. She easily sends one through. Second ever appearance for Colombia in the U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. Their first appearance was back in 2018, where they ended up in 14th place. Both free throws are good for Escorzia. It's 20-16. Nakazawa wisely passes it to Kobayashi. Ozozawa gets the pull-up. She stepped right inside the elbow and let it fly to give them a 6-point lead again. Superlano trying to put the moves on Hosozawa. Nice movement off the ball. Restrepo fires it at the line, and it doesn't go down. Back comes Japan with numbers as Takeuchi takes on Superlano. Japan rushing up the floor. Takeuchi observing Superlano being the only one that could take her on. She was the only one that had her back facing the basket instead of towards their player. And both free throws splashes for Takeuchi. Japan now with an 8-point lead. Their largest lead. Speaking of number 8, here's Maria Superlano. Driving through into the right side, fakes, and scores. Oh no, they're not going to count it. Heartbreak City, that's the second time we've seen Colombia lose a pretty bucket off of a travel. Superlano, she was ready to dart down to the basket, but it looks like she picked up one step too many. Will Japan make them pay? Oh, they will. Ron Kobayashi says konnichiwa from long distance. But it's Colombia's loss as Japan's gain, and they have gained an 11-point lead as we send it to a timeout from Colombia.
says, give it to me. Chicago attacks the closeout, feet Bruno inside. Fills it up.
Japan not having any problems at all as they're lead by 11 thanks to a Takeuchi 3, or a Kobayashi 3, I should say, prior to the timeout. Colombia kept it close in the first quarter, but they have seen their 3-point deficit balloon to 11. Thanks to some wise choices from Japan, who was outscoring Colombia 10-2. 10-2 start here in the second quarter. Nene Gondo. Ray Ando. One of 9 players who represented Japan in the U16 Asia Cup. Kobayashi called for traveling. Day 1 of our coverage of the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. We're glad you're joining us wherever you may be. Huge 3. And it gets air with Japan getting it back. Japan making some adjustments, with Takeuchi and Nakazawa getting a rest. Ishiwata, Ito, and Oski checking in for them. Nakazawa also another one of the players that has checked out for Japan. And there's a pass intercepted by Colombia. Now Superlano goes one-on-one with Oski. 4 minutes have gone by here in quarter number 2. Mariana passes in as the center. Restrepo. Underneath, it doesn't fall down for Zuniga Hurtado, who is now playing 4. Here's Ito for 3. Ando with a monstrous rebound. Oski brings it back down to the logo. She's guarded by Paz. She gets close. Oski on the move. Players hitting the floor, 1 on the shot clock, and it's spun over and taken by Superlano. Bertel, Euro step, no good. There will be 2 shots for her. Played nearly 7 minutes, Bertel, with her lone point coming at the foul line in her only trip. She was 1 for 2 last time. This is Group C action between Colombia and Japan. Coming up next on this court will be Mexico and China in Group B play. Mexico making their 5th appearance. China making their 5th appearance as well. The score is 27-17. Japan ahead of Colombia at the halfway mark in the second. Ishiwata with the rock. Gets the bounce pass down, 3 to shoot. A wide shot from Kaji doesn't work out for her. Drive underneath, that's good. And that time, it will count. Maria Superlano, who missed out on a wonderful shot a few minutes ago due to traveling. This time, she gets payback. This to put Colombia at the 20-point mark. Foul committed by Ishiwata. And it was Supralano, whose free throw bounces out of there. Daira Pedrosa is checked in for Paz. Hosozawa, Gondo, and Shimizu are in for Japan. Oski gets the first free throw. But not the second. Zuniga Hurtado still in the game. 8 points and 4 rebounds. Make that 5 for her now. Foul committed by Gondo. With 4:23 remaining in the half, both teams will head to the foul line. Supralano trying to pick up where she left off after the N1 opportunity in the last trip. She could not make the first free throw. Second one coming up. It's up and out. Rebound immediately from Zuniga Hurtado. This time she will have a chance at the stripe. DeSaline definitely filling up the stats today. 8 points, 6 rebounds. However, she's one of 2 players for Colombia who are playing with 2 fouls. Maria Supralano's the second one. And Hurtado's free throw isn't good. And down underneath, Shimizu taking advantage of a Colombia miscommunication. And she missed. (28-20), Japan has led since the opening tip. They have led by as much as 11. Down to 4 minutes to play until halftime. Here's the high-low pass underneath. Doesn't work out for DeSaline. Zoe going behind the back and pulling it back. She gets the screen from Hosozawa, who gets it in return, but can't cash in on the 3. Rebound picked up by Oski. It's taken back. Japan with 9 to shoot. Yasui getting by off the Hosozawa screen. Cuts into the right side. Loose ball taken by Restrepo. Restrepo set to shoot 2 as she went up the gut, taking on Oski and Hosozawa. First one bounces out for Restrepo, who averaged 8 points in the AmeriCup but is yet to score today. Second one, no good either. Kobayashi sprints through and looked for Takeuchi, which goes past her fingertips. Colombia is being presented with lots of opportunities off of turnovers and fouls, but they have not been able to capitalize on those. Had they capitalized, they would be down by 2 scores. Karen Bertel swivels down to the half-court line. She's in trouble. Gets away from it, cuts on the left side and banks it home. And Japan not wasting any time responding. Hosozawa could not control the ball. This is the opportunity, which is knocking for Colombia. They're down by 6. They could cut it to as few as 3 on this stop. Mariangel Serna returns to the lineup for Colombia. Serna on the pass to Bertel, who can't fill it up. Serna back upstairs to Escorzia. Escorzia, right side shot, no good. Serna getting the loose ball. A third chance for Colombia. Can they cash in with Zúñiga Hurtado? She has trouble, met by the double team, and it will go to the arrow, which will be Colombia ball with 2:18 to go. Plenty of opportunities for Colombia once again. It will be Serna to play the trigger man with 5 to shoot. Well, it says that on the scoreboard. The shot clock says 14. Now they have it set to 5. And they got to get it in quick. Bertel pulls up and misfires. Goes back to Takeuchi. Takeuchi playing hot potato. And this time Hosozawa lines up for 3. And it's no good either. It's pulled back by Kobayashi, who easily gets in for 2. Japan 30, Colombia 22. Serna needs a help out here. And here's Escorzia, who sprinted away from the ball. Lead pass underneath. It works out this time. Zúñiga Hurtado getting her first field goal in the last couple of minutes. Takeuchi locates Kobayashi. Stopped in her tracks immediately. Goes back to Takeuchi, who gets away from Bertel. She's having trouble with 3 to shoot. She drives in with 1. She fills it up somehow, some way. You never give up on the play even when the clock is against you. Japan up by 8. We're approaching the end of the first half. It's been all Japan since the opening start. Here is Escorzia, who just chucks one up. And at this point, she doesn't have to chuck a shot up because every foul leads into free throws anyway. She was going to take it on, try to reduce their deficit, which they have with less than 45 seconds to play in the second quarter. In the second quarter, the line score, Japan 15, Colombia 10. Japan led 17 to 14 at the end of the first. First one splashes in. Free throws have not been a factor at all for both of these teams. Colombia went 1 of 5, Japan 3 of 15. So 4 out of 20. 20% downtown if you combine those two together. Takeuchi taking it on inside and now kicks it outside. The 3 is good. Honoka Yasui breaks this 3-point spell for Japan. To make it 38-26. A couple second difference between the shot and game clock. Will Colombia go for the 3? No, instead it's out to Serna, whose shot is denied. Japan to wrap it up with a flourish. And Yasui puts it in. And 1 on the way. And contact coming in late for Colombia, something that they did not need to do. Ozawa will be credited with the assist. Yasui to complete the 3-point play. Bertel with the foul. It's good. Now it's 38-26 with 2 seconds to go. And Escorzia will let it fly from half court, and it doesn't go down. Japan taking the lead into the break. They were up by as much as 11 at one point. Now they lead by 12. 38-26 is the score behind Japan's crisp ball movement. Takeuchi taking charge now with 9. Oski has 8. Colombia being led by Zunika Hurtado, who has 11 points and 7 rebounds. She will be on double-double watch when we return from the break. I'm Aaron Sanders. We'll be back in 15 minutes for the second half in day 1 of group play in the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup on the FIBA YouTube channel.
Are you kidding me?
Papa Nicolau says, give it to me. Chicago attacks to close out. Feed Bruno inside.
Fills it up. It's all right.
What do you think?
Oh my goodness, get out of here.
Attack corner, Bogby and Bruno.
And then you've got this woman here, Asia.
And what a finish.
Getting overplayed. Still two players without playing one-on-one.
Because she's excited with passion.
Rebound, 6 assists.
Roberts, you gotta love it.
Buckets at the buzzer.
And these fans in Kobe, they love it. They absolutely love seeing it.
Caitlin Clark gets to the passing lane, goes coast to coast for the and one opportunity.
You ain't never seen
you think?
Oh my goodness, get out of here.
That corner pocket and Bruno.
And then you've got this woman here, Asia.
And what a finish.
Didn't overplay as well. Two players without playing one-on-one. Man,
Because she's excited with passion.
6 rebounds, 6 assists.
Roberts, you gotta love it.
Buckets at the buzzer.
And these fans here, Kobe, they love it. They absolutely love seeing
Caitlin Clark gets to the passing lane, goes coast to coast for the and one opportunity.
You ain't never seen nothing like this. You ain't never seen nothing like this.
how many times are we going to see this?
baseline. Are you kidding me?
Papa Nicolau says, give it to me. Chicago attacks to close out. Feed Bruno inside.
Fills it up.
It is 38-26 in favor of Japan as they're leading in their first group game against Colombia, the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. First day wrapping up here in just a couple of hours. Aaron Sanders on the call. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. Mia Takeuchi leading the way with 9 points. Kako Utsuki, her teammate, has 8. Celine Zuniga Hurtado leading Colombia with 3 rebounds short of a double-double, 11 points and 7 rebounds. And there's a handful of you saying that Colombia is making it a close game, and they have. Despite having their largest deficit in the ball game, they have kept it pretty close with Japan. They have not resorted to the three-pointers as often as you can imagine. Neither team shooting pretty well from outside anyway. Japan shooting close to 40, and Colombia shooting 30%. Colombia's snatching away 4 steals compared to Japan's 2. Speaking of steals, how about this record-breaking day so far in day 1 of competition? Australia defeating Latvia, but that wasn't the huge story. Alechniewicz and Smith. Oh, there is a future baller in the making, don't you think? Alechniewicz and Smith with a total of 7 steals each. USA defeating the Ivory Coast by 93, and they combined for 32 steals, which is a U17 record. Also on the scoreboard, New Zealand defeating Egypt by the count of 79-65. Canada defeating Italy to kick off their group play 69-54. And Czechia and Slovenia, they're battling right now, with Slovenia leading 21-11. And in an hour and a half, we will see Mexico and China play on this very court. I'll have the action for that one. And Germany and Spain will wrap up day 1 of coverage of the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. But right here, Japan taking a lead over Colombia as we're set to begin the second half. In the first quarter, it was Japan that led 17-14 at the end of 1. They outscored Colombia 21-12 in quarter number 2. Colombia responsible for 18 boards. Japan has 10 over them with a total of 28. They start the second half with the ball. There's been a total of 33 free throws between these two teams. 19 has been made, 10 of them coming from Japan. They lead by 12. Takeuchi, the leading scorer, drives it down low to Hosozawa. Shot clock continues to tick away. It reads 6. Here's Nakazawa from outside, off the side. Mariana Paz gets the rebound. Paz now with her 4th. She has yet to score. Zúñiga Hurtado leading Colombia. A couple of rebounds away from a double-double. Rebound picked up by Bertel as she follows up. And will get 2 shots for her troubles. Bertel 1 of 4 in field goals, a total of 4 points. 2 of 4 from the line today. With the 2 personal fouls and 1 turnover, however, she is at a -12 if we're talking plus minuses. One of many Colombia players that has to step up as she's unable to get the first free throw. She was one of 8 players that played for Colombia in the U16 AmeriCup and averaged close to 8 points per game. She splits the pair once again to make it an 11-point game. Japan playing in their 8th straight U17 tournament, as that's taken away by Zúñiga Hurtado. Good use of the hands as it's driven down low, and it's good for Maria Superlano. Colombia starting this 3rd quarter very strong after having some difficulty midway in the 2nd quarter. A minute has gone by here in quarter number 3. Ball nearly intercepted. Contact made. It looks like it'll be on Bertel. And Bertel right behind the back of Hosozawa. Got her hand caught in the cookie jar. Hosozawa's first free throw bounces off the front. Hosozawa with 3 points and 5 rebounds today. And the free throws no good for Japan. They're now 10 of 16. Colombia, their 2nd ever trip in the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. Here's a drive, the shot, it's no good. It's been 8 years since they've made their debut. Ended up in 14th place in their maiden voyage. Here they are after placing 4th by way of losing to Mexico in the bronze medal game of the U16 AmeriCup. Keeping it very close against Japan as they break the 30-point mark thanks to Maria Superlano. And Superlano now has 6 points after spending 11 minutes on the floor. Here's a drive by Kobayashi, tough take, which leads into 2 shots. Ron Kobayashi hasn't fared well in the scoring department. Had a huge 3 near the end of the 1st quarter as she gets that one to sail through. 6 points now for Kobayashi. And the second one good as gold too. Japan at the 40-point mark here in this one. Zúñiga Hurtado immediately gives it away, and she gets it back. Plays it to Restrepo. She takes a 3. That doesn't go down. Heartbreak City for her with a rebound picked up by Hosozawa. Takeuchi taking on everybody and plays it to Gondo for 3. That doesn't go either. Heartbreak City for both teams on the last couple of plays. Zúñiga Hurtado setting the screen on the right side. It's good. Restrepo finally getting a triple out of this to make it a 2-score game. Fake out from Kobayashi, gets it on the right side, scoops it up off the mark. Restrepo picks it up, almost lost it. She got bailed out by Bertel. Baseball pass underneath, and nobody was paying attention. Numbers for Japan. The layup is good. Ron Kobayashi adds 2 more. 42-34. Double team works out for Japan. And it's finished by Gondo. Japan going on of a bit of a scoring run to get into the middle of the third quarter, capitalizing on Colombia's mistakes. It started with the pass down low, in which Zúñiga Hurtado wasn't ready, but they have scored 3 buckets in the last 4 trips. Pass deflected by Hosozawa. He immediately was ready for that one. Japan is at 44. They make some changes. And in the U16 Asia Cup, they averaged 84 points per game. And the most they scored was 132 against Syria as that bucket drops down. Japan qualified for the U17s by winning bronze in the Asia Cup after being upsetted by New Zealand in the semifinals, and took care of business against China in the bronze medal game to qualify. Takeuchi with 2 on the clock, buries it. Takeuchi now in double-digit figures. And so is Japan's lead. Approaching the halfway mark in the third quarter, Colombia behind by 10. Handoff pass goes to Serna. Serna with time running out on the shot clock. We have a whistle away from the ball. And if it is on Japan, it will be their 3rd foul in the quarter. Shot clock resets. It's down to 10 now. Serna up top. Feeds it down low to Zúñiga Hurtado, whose shot bounces off and out. Takeuchi coming out of there with a rebound. And sends it down to Ando, who misses. Zúñiga Hurtado getting close to her double-double on every defensive stop. Escorzia cutting away and splits to the other side. She has it now. Down to 3 on the 24. Tries to play it to Zúñiga Hurtado, but too many hands in the air. Here is Takeuchi. Euro step. Doesn't get it down. Milan scoops it up. Colombia, plenty of opportunities for them, but they have not cashed in on it. Serna off the screen from Hurtado and just bullets one. Paz on the rebound and misses it, and it's taken away by Shimizu. Shimizu getting the rebound. Takeuchi taking on Zúñiga Hurtado. More action away from the ball, which leads into a whistle. as Scorzia checks out for Colombia. Close to the 4-minute mark as Scorzia with the foul. That is her second of the day. And she is replaced by Pedroza. Zuniga Hurtado replaced by Mendez. Down to 3 on the 24. Catch and shoot. Bang! Oski scoring for the first time in the third quarter. Loose ball nearly taken by Hozawa, but that's going to burn a lot of time in the backcourt. And it's an 8-second violation. Hozawa burning out most of that time count, hustling for the loose ball. .37 remaining in the third quarter. Japan with their largest lead today. They're up 49-36. Shimizu covered by Milan. Oski starting up a play. Lisa Hozawa. Their three bounces way off. Ito got the rebound. Contact made by Colombia, which puts them over the limit. So Japan will have the luxury of free throws if they draw the next foul. Colombia has reduced their deficit to as few as 6, but since the start of the third quarter, they have not had many answers. Oski kicks it out to Kobayashi for 3. It bounces everywhere but down the hatch. Big rebound by Oski as she sails right out of bounds while getting shoved. Oski is at the line for 2 shots. She has 11 points, tying Takeuchi with the most points in the ball game. Celine Zuniga Hurtado also has 11 for Colombia. The free throw woes continue for Japan. At one trip they were 1 for 2, the other trip they missed 2, and the first one is missed by Oski, and she misses the second one. Ball is tipped and retained by Japan somehow, some way. Kobayashi plays it to Oski again. Oski taking her time, got the screen from Nakazawa. She spins into the lane with 1 to shoot, off the glass, and can't get it. And they rule a 24-second violation on Japan. And it looks like they're going to take it into a review. Nope, it will be blue ball. Shot clock violation, as it was called by Brooke Briscoe of Canada, part of the officiating crew. And now Martin Vulic explaining the call to Yoshikazu Suzuki, the head coach of Japan. Initially, it looked like they were going to review it. We saw the signal, but after confirmation, it was a shot clock violation. Colombia with the ball, and they didn't have it for long as it's taken by Hozawa. Hozawa leading the charge and has that sent back. But it doesn't defer Japan at all. Hozawa. Underneath, it doesn't go. Colombia has a lot of catching up to do. Japan outscoring them 11-10. They're up by 13. And it doesn't make it 10. Nakazawa was underneath the basket. Fake from Oski, and she travels. New Zealand, Australia, Canada, and USA, the victors in the first half of our group schedule in day one of competition. Slovenia leading Czechia near the end of the second quarter. Mexico and China's coming up next, followed by Germany and Spain to close out the first day of group action. Here's the spin move from Bertel. She flings it away. Not there. Oski gets another rebound. She's been one of the X factors for Japan since the start of the second half. Here's a catch and shoot three. It's through. And this time it's Hosozawa adding to the damage. Japan running away with this as they approach the 50-point mark. That is a big three from Hosozawa, and she was waiting for that one.
How many times are we going to see this? Baseline. Are you kidding me?
Papa Nicolau says, give it to me. Go attacks to close out. Feed Bruno inside.
Fills it up.
It's all right.
Japan clicking on all cylinders near the end of the third quarter as they are limiting Colombia to all their scoring options while leading 52-36. Two players tied with 11 points. That's Oski and Takeuchi. Colombia having a lot of difficulty as it's witnessed right here. They escaped the 8-second violation, whistle, and this time it's going to go to Japan, who are now out of fouls to give off of the shove. And this time it's going to go to Kosei Hosozawa. As a running shot doesn't go for Zunika Hurtado, who is a rebound away from a double-double. Japan's flirting with the double-double too from Ron Kobayashi. She is a point and 2 rebounds away from that. Here's a head and shoulder fake from Gondo, who gets enough room for three. In and out. And Kobayashi now with 9 rebounds. Japan looking to redeem themselves. Takeuchi sends it outside of Nakazawa. Her three is way off. Once again, the other game that's going on right now, Slovenia and Czechia, the host team for this year's installment of the U17s, and Slovenia is leading at halftime. Ozawa called for another foul. This time, Zunika Hurtado retreats to the foul line to get Colombia back into this game. They have been scoreless in the last few minutes. And the scoring spell continues. Takeuchi bursts down to the lane and locates Kobayashi. She was looking for a 12th point of the game. Doesn't work out this time. The high dribble and a shot from Supralano breaks their scoring spell with 15 to go. Takeuchi drives with 3, and it's no good. Supralano holds on to it as the third quarter comes to a close. Japan looking to run away with this game as they lead with a count of 52-38. And we'll come back for the fourth quarter in just a moment. Colombia begins a fourth quarter with the ball. They are behind 52-38. Still a close game by all accounts, despite the shooting not working out in Colombia's favor. They are at 28%, but they have kept close, and the reason why they were able to keep it close before halftime was Diceline Zuniga Hurtado, who was on the doorstep of a double-double. But turnovers like that one would keep them out of there. That's turnover number 14 for Colombia. Japan currently being led by the tandem of Oski and Takeuchi, who has 11 each. Ron Kobayashi has risen to the occasion. She is a point and a rebound away from a double-double, so 9 and 9 for her. Japan shooting 33% from the field today. Three-pointers have not been a factor for them. They hit a couple of them in the third quarter, but overall they are shooting below 25%. Oski, one of the leading scorers, plays it to her teammate Takeuchi, who has 11 and can't make it 14. Zuniga Hurtado now with the rebound. She finally has her double-double. You're going to need more than that from her if they want to make this a ball game once again. Pull-up is no good for Supralano. Down the floor is Takeuchi. Two passes later, it's down to Oski. Oski on the move, darts right to the lane and misses the finger roll. Colombia playing in their first U17 game since 2018, and they're called for traveling. Their second ever trip to the tournament. They placed 14th in their first trip 8 years ago. Japan has played in every U17 Women's Basketball World Cup including the one 2 years ago where they placed 6th. They ended up in 4th place in 2012. Nice layup underneath, coming from Hosozawa. Japan's highest finish in this tournament was back in 2012, where they lost the bronze medal game. Next up for them, Slovenia. Next up for Colombia, Czechia. And Czechia currently behind to Slovenia in their game. Turnover, which leads to Shimizu, left way deep in the basket. It will stay with Japan. It will be China and Mexico on this floor coming up. Catch and shoot 3, no good. No good for Yasue. And Bertel returns to the line. Colombia at this point shooting below 50%, 12 of 25 overall, while snagging down 34 rebounds. The problem is Japan has been right on the ball with them with 41 rebounds. Bertel with 5 points, 3 of her points coming at the stripe. Make that 4 of them, with Colombia approaching 40. They lost to Mexico in the FIBA U17 Women's America bronze medal game, but it was still good enough for them to qualify for this year's U17 Women's World Cup. Ozawa on the fake out. Yasue looking for options. And here's a dart to the lane from Takeuchi, who doesn't get the finger roll. Pedroza taken on by Yasue. And Colombia will throw it in. They throw it in on the foul from Kobayashi. Ariana Paz returns to the Colombia lineup as Scorzia as well. She takes a 3 and hits. Colombia capitalizing on their first 3 in a long time. Most of their shots have come from the mid-range to low post. Hosozawa can't make them pay. Zuniga Hurtado gets the tough rebound. There's a Scorzia with Serna. Serna, 2 passes later, it's down to a Scorzia, who spins and kicks it down to Zuniga Hurtado, who banks it off, doesn't get it. Paz can't put it back either, and can't get it on the 3rd try. 4th try coming up for Scorzia and Colombia. Shot clock continues to roll on and will stay with Colombia. Seven seconds on the shot clock. One of the officials heads to the scores table to try to rectify the situation. Could it be a clock issue? Nevertheless, they fixed it. Everybody's all good to go. 7 seconds for Colombia. which leads into an offensive foul. An 11-point game with 6:23 to go in regulation. Colombia still has a chance at this, but they have to start making their buckets. They had 4 opportunities prior to the sideline out of bounds play. And that burns out a lot of time on the clock when you can't get the 2 points in on the first go. The rebounding is there. The problem is it does not convert into buckets. Will Japan make them pay the rest of the way? It is taken out of bounds, or slapped out of bounds by Sarah Murillo. The power forward. Takeuchi taking her time. She has 3 to shoot. She goes into the left side and scores. Colombia has yet to close down Takeuchi. It was almost taken by Kobayashi. Good use of hands on Serna. Escorzia, a risky pass. It works out for her anyway as Bertel chucks one up. We'll say Hosozawa gets back in there. Rhea Ando checks out. Bertel continues to amaze at the foul line. Scorzia and Zuniga Hurtado now have 11 each for Colombia. Takeuchi leading both teams with 13. It's now 56-45. Oski finds Takeuchi, who goes to the lane again, takes contact, along with 2 more shots on the way. The other game that's going on right now is Czechia and Slovenia. Right now, Slovenia is taking the lead. And Japan has led since the start of this game. They are now ahead by 13. Here's the lead pass to Paz, who goes too strong on the layup. Takeuchi denied access. Nakazawa tries. And Takeuchi takes her time at the 5-minute mark here in the 4th. And this time it's Nakazawa lining up for a 3, and it hits the net. Japan will look forward for Slovenia tomorrow. Colombia has Czechia. Superlano tries a 3. And Paz picks it up and throws it away immediately. Takeuchi finding Oski. And the miss is picked up by Bertel. Nakazawa called for the foul as Bertel gets the defensive rebound. 9 points for Bertel, most of them coming from the foul line. Here's the drive. Escorzia stopped in her tracks. And they have no choice but to go for the 3 at this point, which doesn't work out. Oski on the baseball pass. And the pull-up. Air ball. Snatched up by Kobayashi, who calls glass. And will go to the line. Bank definitely open for Japan today as they're looking to run away with this game. One shot on the way for Ron Kobayashi, who now has 12. 3 players in double digits for Japan. Takeuchi leading the way with 14 points and 5 assists. Colombia only has 2. Zunica Hurtado already has a double-double with 11-11. Three-pointer's no good for Restrepo, who's had a tough time shooting today with only 3 points. And that came from downtown. Since then, she has gone 1 for 6. Ozozawa saw the double team and went right back out. Oski takes it in and misses. Stutter step from Superlano, who puts one up and will shoot 2. So we saw earlier in the game with, I believe, 4.5 to go in the second quarter, both of these teams getting over the limit. And now with 3:11 to play, that's where we're going to stand the rest of the game. And Superlano's free throw bounces in and out. Second free throw good. And Japan doesn't waste any time, do they? Running layup good for Kobayashi, who has been scorching in the second half. Colombia running out of time. They're down by 16. Now their largest deficit. Bertel lobs it to Zunica Hurtado, who gets it off. Tough shot, but she used glass to soften her shot a little bit, and it works out. Takeuchi plays it to Kobayashi. Kobayashi has had the hot hand in the second half. Takeuchi with 4. Takeuchi with 3. Goes for a kick out at 1. Here's a 3. Oski connecting. Great ball awareness despite the shot clock running out. Restrepo finding Superlano on the foul, and 2 more shots coming up. They're exactly at the 2-minute mark at the fourth quarter. Japan leads 65-48 against Colombia in Group C competition and the opening day of the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup from Brno, Czechia. The first free throw too strong for Superlano. And they have had free throw woes as they're now 17 of 32. Make that 17 to 33. Ironically, the 17 free throws they've made is how much they're losing by. They haven't been well at the free throw line today, and the pull-up J is good for Takeuchi with 1 minute and 46 seconds to go. 67-48 is the score now. And remember, when we're under the 2-minute mark in the fourth quarter, the clock stops after every made basket, and teams can make changes as long as it's a dead ball or after a field goal. And be sure to continue the conversation over the next week using the hashtag FIBA U17. You see it right on the scoreboard, and you just saw Oski take the ball away and sail in for 2. Lickety split. And Colombia is looking to tighten things up off of a timeout. They're looking to finish strong despite the game being out of reach for them, thanks to a layup from Oski, who stripped it and scored. And Japan is 1 minute and change away from taking their first win in Group C play. A minute 30 away from the end of this one. Restrepo pulls up for three off the inbound, and it's off the mark. Zunica Hurtado loses the rebound. And after the quick skirmish underneath, it will go to Japan. Japan has not lost their lead since getting the opening bucket in this game. Their largest scoring run, 11-0. And they have their largest lead at 69-48. Ando sprouting out. And Ishiwata now has the ball and takes the three. And she almost had it. Rebound pulled down by Momika Kaji. The bench getting some time to bring this one to a close. Ishiwata setting some nice screens as she peels away and misses a three again. But she knows how to create space and separation, so chances are we may see her more times than often as group play continues. Here is Ando from downtown, can't put it there. Japan capitalizing on second chances, and this time Colombia will get the arrow with 35.7 to play. And it looks like Colombia will take another timeout. We'll step aside. Colombia gets it back after the timeout. Restrepo's looking wide open, but it's Maria Milan that has it, and now Restrepo takes it and can't get the banker off the glass. Nearly a 0.6 difference between the shot and game clock, as it's academic at this point that Japan will pull away with their first victory in Group C play. Colombia led 3-0 to start things off, but Japan, they took that lead and they have ran Colombia off the floor. The way they played today. Three-pointers were not a huge factor, but when they were wide open, they would take it. Neither team, they shot pretty well from downtown. Most of the action came from down low and as far as the elbow. Free throw is good for Ando to make it 70-48. They came in averaging 84 points per game in the U16 Asia Cup a year ago, a tournament in which they were able to qualify for this tournament after taking the bronze against China. Yasui will try to look for one more shot, and that will do it. Japan running away with this one as they prevail in their first game of group play, defeating Colombia. And they were led by Mia Takeuchi, who led the way with 16 points. She was helped out by Kakowotsuki, who also had 16. Ron Kobayashi came through in the second half, and she ended up with a total of 14 points and a double-double effort, pinning 12 rebounds to her performance. Iselin Zunica Hurtado had a double-double herself for Colombia with 13 and 11. And the second player that only made it to double-digit figures for Colombia was Elba Escorzia, who had 11 points. It was a rough go for Colombia near the end of the game, while they were outscored 32-22 in the third and fourth quarter alone. The difference in rebounds on the screen, just one. Japan winning that battle 41-40. So the final score in this one, 70-48 in favor of Japan. We hope you enjoyed this game, folks, and stick around because back on this court in less than an hour will be Mexico against China, and we hope you're able to stay around here for that. In the meantime, we'll leave you in the great hands of Craig Fada as he has the contest between Slovenia and Czechia, and so far Slovenia leads 37-24. So Japan, Canada, New Zealand, USA, and Australia, the victors in their first day of group action here in the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup. We'll talk again in less than 50 minutes when Mexico and China takes the floor. This is Aaron Sanders. Lots more coverage to come here from Brno, Czechia, the site of the FIBA U17 Women's Basketball World Cup.